Hi folks, my name is Adeyinka Grandson. Today I'm going to respond to the remarks made by the president of the Ohanaeze Ndiigbo, Chief John Wodo. He made a remark when he was responding to the remarks of Rotimi Amechi, the former governor of Rivers State and the current minister for transport. In his remark, President John Wodo of Ohanaeze Ndiigbo said that 40% of the properties in Lagos State Yoruba land belongs to the Igbo. But what he did not mention was how the Igbo managed to own 40% of properties in Lagos State, a state that is predominantly Yoruba-speaking state. This has never happened in anywhere in the world anyway, where immigrants who own 40% of property in a place that they have been accommodated. It doesn't happen. So I will address how the Igbo managed to own any property at all in Lagos State, which John Wodo refused to disclose. Look, Igbo people come into Yoruba land oftentimes with nylon bag, with bedroom slippers. They have brought no wealth into Yoruba land. When I mean wealth, I'm talking about cash and human resources. Because there is no wealth in Yoruba land, so they come to Yoruba land empty-handed. Because the Igbo don't have the human resources. So we don't have Igbo scientists in Yoruba land. We don't have their engineers in Yoruba land. We don't have their doctors in Yoruba land because they don't have in substantial quantity. Because they do not have the wealth, which is the cash and the human resources. So they come in drove into Yoruba land. So when they get to Yoruba land with their bedroom slippers and nylon bag, they get straight into organized crime, like kidnapping, armed robbery, rape, 419, and other sundry criminal activities. So you will notice that an average Igbo, when they come with their bedroom slippers, with their nylon bag, with no cash or no human resources, because the reason why they don't have human resources is that an average Igbo spends 16 years learning how to sell guguru and epa or spare parts. Whereas an average Yoruba will go to primary school for 6 years, will go to secondary school for 6 years, making 12 years, and spend 4 years in university, in total 16 years. But an average Igbo will serve a master to learn how to sell guguru and epa, to learn how to sell spare parts for the same number of years an average Yoruba will go to school. So because of that, they do not have the human capital. So we don't have Igbo scientists, Igbo lawyers, like we do have in Yoruba land. Igbo doctors, they don't have it. So they come to Yoruba space to try and make good their life. But when they come here into Yoruba space, they're involved in organized crime, kidnapping, armed robbery, 419, you name it. That is what they do. So it is from the proceeds of these criminal activities that they build houses, that they have shops. Oftentimes when they come in group, like you see 10 Igbo living in one room in Lagos, so they go into various criminal activities. Under 6 months, you will see them establishing a shop or buying a house, proceed of crime. There are Yoruba who have been living in Lagos for years. They do their legitimate job. They don't involve in criminal activities. So many things they have to plan their ways. But an average Igbo just leave Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, and come straight down to Yoruba land, essentially to be involved in organized criminal activities. So this is how they own properties, and their shops they have all over Yoruba space, particularly in Lagos. Let me tell you something they do in the 80s, which majority of young Yoruba watching me may have no clue about. In the 80s, there is a man we call Baba Sala. He's a comedian. I don't know whether he's still alive or not. May God bless him. He produced a movie called Orumoru. He went to the banks, 2 or 3 banks, and borrowed money all over the place. And he produced this movie. Before the movie came out into cinema, the Igbo have pirated it. Baba Salah became bankrupt till today. It is the same thing the Igbo did to Kunle Afolayan, Adelove's son. There's an Igbo guy at Alaba International Market. They pirated his work. Kunle Afolayan have to go and beg this guy before they can give him some certain concession. This is what the Igbo are used to in Yoruba land. Crime, organized crime, armed robbery, kidnapping, rape, organized violence, 419. They are involved in drugs. They sell fake drugs all across Yoruba land. So this is how they accumulate wealth. They have become nuisance across Yoruba land. Let me tell you something you do not know, folks. In England, the Arabs are given visa free to come to London with their oil money to come and buy properties all over London. So these Arabs will come because they have oil, which is their wealth. They will bring part of the proceed of that oil wealth to buy houses in London. The English are very smart. So when they buy houses all over London, they don't live there oftentimes. They only come during the summertime. But every day, every month, every now and then, they pay council tax, which is something akin to land use that the Lagos state government just created. They pay service charge. They pay electricity bill. They pay gas bill. They pay water bill. When they come to London, they pay for their car parks. So, however you look at it, the English are very smart. The English will allow them to come into their country almost visa-free. They will bring wealth into the English economy. So when they come to buy property, that money they brought from the Arab country is adding value to the English economy. The English citizens are employed. The houses they bought, the English will use the money they pay for it to build additional houses, thereby sustaining the English economy, thereby providing jobs for English citizens. It is the same thing the French and the German telecommunication companies are doing. The English invited the French and the German because of their human resources in telecommunication. It is the French companies and the German companies that are running telecommunication, particularly mobile communication system in England. So when they come, the English allow them to operate, but they will have to employ 80% English, and they will have to reinvest 80% of their profit into the English economy. Again, the English economy remains sustainable. There's also another thing the English do. They're very smart. They allow the Chinese to bring their wealth to come and buy up dormant companies in England. So the Chinese will bring money from China. They invest the money into the electricity in England, into the water resources in England. And again, the English give them a condition that they have to employ 80% of the English, and they can only take 20% of their profit back to China. They will have to reinvest 80% of their profit within the English economy. So the Chinese are bringing their money, the same way the French and Germans are bringing their wealth as well as their human resources into England. The same way the Arabs are bringing their oil money to come and buy property in London. So also is the Indians. Indians are one of the best in terms of medicine. So the English allow Indians to come because of their human resources, because they have sophisticated doctors, fantastic doctors. They also have allowed Indians to buy up their car manufacturing companies, Jaguar. So Jaguar is being run by the Indians. But the Indian comes into England with their knowledge of medicine, with their money, which they use to purchase Jaguar. And they create job for the English economy. They employed English citizens. 80% of them is the law. So these are ways and means by which the English have been able to sustain their economy, and they continue to sustain them. Now you ask yourself, what exactly are the Igbo bringing to Yoruba land? Education-wise, they don't have it. In terms of human resources, where are their doctors? They are not in Yoruba land. Where are their scientists? They are not in Yoruba land. Where are their engineers? They don't have. So because they don't go to school, they don't have sufficient human capital. So if they say to you that, oh, we are helping you to develop Yoruba land, it's all false. They don't have the human capital. They don't have the wealth. Do they have oil and gas in Igbo land that has made them to have so much money? No. Have you ever seen an Igbo man who goes to the bank in Igbo land and borrow money to come and invest that money in Yoruba land? It is not possible. They don't have the wealth. So they bring nothing into Yoruba space. Absolutely nothing into Yoruba space. What they are doing essentially is into crime, organized crime, kidnapping, armed robbery, 419, rape, trafficking in drug. They bring in all manners of things. They have turned Yoruba land into the dumping ground of the world. They go to China, they import used spare parts into Yoruba land. They go all over the place and bring in fake drugs. Drugs that should be manufactured in Yoruba land. Exile battery is gone in Yoruba land. Tire making industries are gone in Yoruba land. Nothing is working again in Yoruba land because the Igbo have turned Yoruba land into the dumping ground of the world. Fulani have captured the Yoruba land politically. Fulani control our ports. Fulani control our waterways. All the taxes paid in Yoruba land, Fulani are the one controlling this. And the Igbo have turned Yoruba land into the dumping ground of the world. These two set of people are criminally minded that we should chase them out of Yoruba land. Believe you me, they are too ruthless. Our generation must not act like the generation before us. We have to be ruthless against the Igbo and the Hausa Fulani. So what the president of Ohanaeze said is nothing other than false. Igbo do not own 40% of the properties in Lagos. What the Igbo have across Yoruba land are proceeds of crime. They are into criminal activities. Like I said, like the Arabs, the Igbo don't have oil wealth. The Arabs have oil wealth and use their oil wealth to come and buy properties across England. The French and the Germans, they have brain power. They have been able to conquer telecommunication industry throughout the world. So they bring their brain power to come and invest into the English economy to run their mobile telephone services. As a result of that, they are helping to create jobs for English citizens. But they are only allowed to take 20% of their profit back to their home country. Look at the Chinese are in London with their wealth of experience, and they have accumulated so much wealth, money, and they bring all of this to England to help to run their electricity companies and the water resources. As a result of that, they are creating jobs for the English, but they can only allow to take 20% of the profit out of England. The Indians are doing the same thing. They are the best in terms of medicine. They have human resources. They have human capital. So they are helping to take care of English sick people because they have the word of experience. They have the word of knowledge in medicine. What exactly do Igbo have? Look at the sons in Yoruba land. The most popular sons are Yoruba people. The engineers are Yoruba. The doctors are Yoruba. The lawyers are Yoruba. The engineers are Yoruba. There are no Igbo in all of these professions that are so sophisticated, that are well known all over the world. Igbo contribute nothing, absolutely nothing to Yoruba land. They are criminals. Believe you me. And we will chase them out. It's going to get to a stage. My generation is quite different from my parents' generation. Our own generation, we're so sophisticated. We're thinking ahead of time. Igbo are constituting nuisance into Yoruba land, into our space. It's going to get to a stage that we will have no other option other than to kill them in Yoruba land. People will think we're just talking. We're just blabbing. It's going to get to such a stage. Because I haven't seen Yoruba, even though the English colonized us for 100 years. The English stole our resources for 100 years. They took our people into slavery in North America and across the world. The Yoruba who lives in England, we don't antagonize the English people. In spite of the atrocity they've committed against us, we don't abuse them. We don't antagonize them. We obey their law, everything. But you see the Igbo in Yoruba, we never colonize them, but they constitute nuisance. They disparage our political leaders. They disparage our obas. They disparage our culture, our norms and value system, yet they are into criminal activities across Yoruba land. Believe you me, my generation will be very, very ruthless. We will chase you out of Yoruba land and we use organized violence. And it's going to lead to a number of bloodshed. Believe you me. And my generation will stop the nonsense the Igbo are doing. So what Ohanaeze Ndiigbo said, the president of Ohanaeze Ndiigbo, John Uwodo, is foolish, is stupid, and his remark is nothing other than the voice of an idiot. Yoruba, we have to wake up. Our parent generation have failed us. We must not fail our children. Thanks, folks.